It's Brenda Miller, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. And I go live every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time to share with you projects that I'm working on and Stampin' Up! News and, pretty much anything happening here in New Jersey that's stamping related. And today I have a special project for you. I am so excited because I learned a new technique this weekend. And I've been stamping for 27 and a half years. And so, learning brand new things, that doesn't happen every day. I'll be honest. A lot of times I'm reminded of things that I used to know, but this was pretty much brand new to me. So I'm very excited to share it with you today. So let's go ahead and take a look. So this event we had this weekend, we created this beautiful card. It has a little tag that slides out of a little pocket. And before I get into the technique, let me just show you that this is all from a suite that is coming in the fall 2025 mini catalog. So it's mostly holiday based, but winter themes, that kind of thing. And I just want to share with you the items that are in that suite because I have them all, and you might want to see them. So this is this gorgeous ribbon. Look at this. It has like these little edges sticking out that are silver, and the designer said that it's kind of like a zipper. It looks kind of like a zipper, so when you use it, that can sometimes give that kind of effect, but it's still, regardless, it's pretty. It's a misty moonlight, and you know that I'm going to be using that a lot. It also comes with these fun, like snowflake stars. Let's see, they're called Hues of Blue flowers. And you can see that they come in various shades of blue, including Secret Sea, which is a new in color, and Cloud Cover, which is also an in color. So we have that. There is an embossing folder. Check this out. It's going to be beautiful, and it coordinates with the bundle that I will show you next. And this bundle is, and I think the suite even is called Peace on Earth. The suite is called Peaceful Garden, and the bundle is called Peace on Earth. So it has great sentiments. I'm always looking for a great sentiment set, especially for the holidays. Peace, love, joy, Peace on Earth. I love this stamp. We used to have one like it, and I used it, on a lot of cards. But then also this can be used every day. And the really nice thing, check out these beautiful doves that this comes with. So we made some projects, and I'll show them to you. You can see them on my Facebook page already, but I'll probably do a live where I show you how we made those cards sometime in the future. But I love these labels, these two different labels, and this is what we used to make the little tag that slid out. And this is a little like olive branch that the dove can be carrying, or these are little teeny tiny envelopes. Are they adorable or what? And the doves can carry those. So cute. Anyway, really lovely. And then of course, my favorite thing of any bundle is the designer series papers, or the specialty papers. So here you can see a number of the different, these are pieces from some of the different papers that are in here. So you can see they're all different shades of blues. This is the reverse side of one of the sheets, and let me flip that over so you can see this has these little sprigs on it. So you can see we used a lot of the different papers in our event that we had just for demonstrators this weekend, which was really fun to get together with other demonstrators and watch videos. And it was a live stream that we could watch. But also included in that suite are these gorgeous glimmer papers. Okay, so they have that glitter on them that does not shed, and we'll use some of that today too, but you can see these shades. So that is the little sneak peek that I had for you from the upcoming catalog. Okay, so let's go ahead though and analyze this card a little bit and see what it was that made me so excited. I'm not sure you could even see it. It is very subtle. well, two things. They used a little teeny tiny piece of coordinating, matching cardstock, actually the same color, and they just put it through a little part of the embossing folder. So that was kind of cool. And then also they used the perforating tip of the Take Your Pick tool. There's a separate set of crafting tips that you can get, and one of those is a perforating tool. So let me just, I don't even know where to start here, so I'm just going to grab my little box. So, our Take Your Pick tool is our handy little tool that we use all the time to pick up little pieces, and I'll grab one of those. Of course, the one that has my perforating tip is right here. Okay. And you can see that this little kit that you can get separately, the Take Your Pick crafter tips. It comes in this little package, and this is one of the tips. So you just unscrew it. So it comes like this, and usually I have my little putty end on this side, but I'm going to go ahead and take out the perforating tip so you can see how that goes in. And now, what perforating is, you can see on this blade, it makes the little edges that make, if you think of coupons that you can tear off, that's what I've always thought of that you would use this for. So I thought, okay, that's great. But just so you know, it also comes with I'm going to call it an X-Acto knife, but it's a craft knife tip, very sharp, so you want to be careful with that. And then lastly, it has, this is a little hook on one end, so that can be handy, right? This is just expanding the ways that you can use your crafter's tip. And this is a finer tip, you can see. It's a piercing tool, but it's a finer tip. So anyway, that's what's in the crafter's toolkit. And I have to admit, I've had it for a long time. I've used the little knife once occasionally, but I really haven't used the other tips. I have a piercing tool that's good enough for me usually. So I really hadn't examined it very closely. So what they did is we made little edges around these larger pieces and perforated them, and then gave them a little fold, and it made it both give a little edge that adds interest, but also lifts it up a little bit with the help of some dimensionals. So what I did is I said, okay, well, I don't want to use this paper because you don't have the access to this paper. So I wanted you to be able to make a card right away if you wanted to. So I made a different card, and I did it this way, and I used it exactly the same. You can see it's exactly the same, but it has a whole different look, right? So let me show you how we can build this card and the products that I used for it, okay? So I started with a piece of lemon lolly cardstock. I'm just always a mess, right? I don't even know why I even ever say anything else. I'm just always got a lot going on here. That's all I can say. So I'm just going to give this a nice crease, putting on my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. And so this is the lemon lolly cardstock. I'm not going to put anything on the inside today because lemon lolly is a nice light color. And then we're going to get our little elements together so you can see, look at this. Look at that foil paper. This is something that's available now, and it comes in 3 different colors. It's a silver and a pretty in pink, and then this color is strawberry slush. So you can get this. It's 12 by 12. It's called, I have it right here. The package, it is called Flower Garden Foils 12 by 12 specialty paper. So you can see it's cloud cover, pretty in pink, and strawberry slush. Although the cloud cover, this is the cloud cover, so I thought that was silver actually, because when you make it shiny, it looks silver. Okay, anyway, so that is the piece I used here. And then instead of using that embossing folder, I just used the corrugated embossing folder because I already had, this is already embossed. So I didn't want to take away from this pretty foiling. So I just made it, I used my mini corrugated embossing folder, and I just cut a piece. This is, the measurements are all in the description of this video. but it's 3/4 by 1 3/4, and I just put it into my embossing folder and put it through. But you could see how you could do this if you have various designs on your embossing folder. You can just put it right where you want it. And I thought, I really hadn't done that before, but that was the brandy new technique. So anyway, so we have that. So next I took a piece of the Florals in Bloom Designer Series paper. Hi, Kim. Thanks for joining. And I cut a piece 3 by 3. So we're going to work with that. And then finally, there is a piece of white. Everything's falling down on my end. But I have a piece of white cardstock that is now, of course, missing, but never fails. It is 3 inches across, because it's got to be the same as this, right? 3 inches, and it's by 1 3/4 inches. So if I have to cut another one, I know what I need to do, but we'll see. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you that fun technique. So I'm going to use 2 products that Stampin' Up! Does not sell. I've put links to similar products in the description for the video. Actually, on Facebook, it'll be in the comments section. And I did that because I couldn't find the exact same products. I've had these for, decades. So, hi, Cheryl. Thanks for joining. And yes, Kim, I love this paper too. So you can see that this is a folding ruler and it's clear. So this one is actually a Martha Stewart one that I had gotten a long time ago, but the one I linked to is a Singer one. So you can see how this would be very useful if you were sewing, right? But all I'm going to do, now you could use any straight edge. As a matter of fact, in the videos when they showed us how to do this online at our event, they used an acrylic plate from the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because that has a nice little straight edge and you can see through it, and so it makes it really easy. But I'm going to use the actual tools I have. I'm using a self-healing mat just to protect my glass surface, and you could use any self-healing mat, and again, I just found an inexpensive one and I linked to that. So this is all I did. I'm going to take my perforating tool and I'm going to put it right up against my ruler after I've laid it down, and I'm just going to feel it down and see how it makes that little perforation. So you have to be careful, because I did have some people at our event that they cut so hard they cut through. Not really sure. I guess if you go back and forth, that might happen. So I would try to get it in one fell swoop. And you're trying to make it straight, but trust me, nobody's going to know if it's not. And I'll do it again here. Oops. See, I nudged it a little because I get too excited. And one more time. So I'm doing all the edges of the square. Go ahead, get that last one done. And you can see that it has these little perforated edges. See that? And then you can fold them down. And we're just going to fold them a little bit, because it's only going to be the depth of maybe, dimensional. And that's the way I interpreted it. Might not actually be the way that they did the card, but I like the way that it came out. So then we're going to do it again on that piece of white cardstock that I will find as soon as this live is over, because it was right here. But let me go grab one really quick from my stash that I have right behind me. So it is, like I said, 1 3/4 by 3 by 1 3/4. So 3 inches first. I'm sorry. Yeah. 3 by 1 3/4, and that way it's the right depth. Okay, so here we have it, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp on this first, and I'm going to use the Mixed Labels stamps. And the reason I'm using this today, first of all, it has beautiful stamps on it and beautiful sentiments, and I use them all the time. But I also have a class coming up in July that uses the Mixed Labels bundle. I have information on my blog and my newsletter, lots of places. If you're interested in taking this class, all you need to do is purchase the bundle from me. It is part of the suite sale too, so you could even save on it. And if you do that in the month of June, I will send you a kit for 5 cards and a link to a Zoom class and a PDF tutorial to make 5 cards using that bundle. So had to get my little commercial in, right? So I'm going to use You're Pretty Wonderful. Tap, tap, tap on my Strawberry Slush ink pad. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm just going to stamp right in the middle. There we go. Hopefully it's straight. If it's not, it's not. Okay. And then I'm going to perforate the edges on this as well. And I will try to be quick about it because we've already been here for 15 minutes. I'm sorry. It's not as quick as my usual class. I like to keep them kind of quick, but I really want you to see how this comes together. So again, just using my ruler, you can use any straight edge and it will work. And I'm doing all 4 edges. Okay, so we've got that. So now we've got our pieces together, ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and fold these down. Now this is a little bit harder to fold down, right, because it's thicker than designer series paper, but it's still thin enough that it will, you can say, fold down just a little bit on all 4 edges. Okay, so that kind of just gets it all to pop up a little bit. All right, so we've got that. I will put these tools away, and let's get out our card base again, right here. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and adhere these to the card front. And again, like I said, I'm going to use dimensionals in the background. And so you know me, I don't usually use lots of dimensionals, but I am going to use 4. And especially for the top one, you want to make sure that you're doing it at the edges, because this is actually becoming that pocket, which I don't know if you even remember that there's a pocket on that card front. There is a pocket, so we're going to do that. And we're going to make sure we have it right side up. And we're going to adhere it down with those dimensionals again. And so I'm just going to push down my little fold. So look at that. Isn't that cool? And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. It doesn't matter as much where you're putting your dimensionals. So I got mine mostly in the middle. And again, I'm just going to line it up so that they're together. Okay, I probably should have done that up a little bit more, and it probably isn't straight. But now I'm going to use my that Strawberry Slush Pretty paper. There it is. And I'm just going to use my stamp and seal to lay this down. And that's going to go right here. And this format works. This doesn't look long enough. The one that I did. Somehow I cut something wrong. Not unusual, but I will make sure that the dimensions are correct. I think I just got carried away when I was cutting, and I got my pieces a little bit too small. Yeah, you can see it was supposed to be a little bit longer. I just cut it a little too short. So that's okay. I'm going to put this on with some glue because it's textured. I want to make sure that it gets to stick to the paper. And you'll see that we're going to cover that up anyway. Unreal. There we go. Always something in my classes. Okay, so let's pretend that went all the way down. And you can see how it has that little perforation and looks kind of cool. Actually, the problem is I made this too big. That's what it was. This is not supposed to be 1 3/4 different dimensions, but okay, at least I know where that problem is. Okay, for the tag, I'm actually going to use the bundle that we used this weekend because I just love this tag. As I showed you before, we're going to use the smaller one. And all we're going to do is take a piece of cardstock. Now, the way, this is just white cardstock, but the way that I got that on the end is I'm going to just adhere this just with my regular adhesive to the top of this is a 2-inch paper strip. This is 3/4 of an inch wide. And you can see I'm going to go ahead and put it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and you end up with this. Okay, so we have our tag, and I'm going to stamp thank you on there, and that I'm going to use the Simply Said stamp set. I'm going to use thank you because it kind of goes with You're Pretty Wonderful. And that stamp is right here. Dun, dun, dun. And I'm just going to do it at the bottom to mimic the card that we made. Okay, we've got the thank you. And then as a little tab for our little tag that we have going in there, I'm just going to use one of the beautiful in color gems. These are the 2025-2027 in color flat pearls. And you can see we've used up a lot of them, but I still have my strawberry slush on the sheet, so yay. And that will go in, switch that out, to our card, and there we have our adorable new design. Now, as I said, this is supposed to be thinner. Let's look at the sample that I originally made. That's the better one. And let me know what you think. I think this is a really cool technique. It uses some tools that we've had around and maybe didn't know what to do with if we weren't making coupons. I'm sure there are lots of other things you could do with it, but I never really looked into it and got into it. So anyway, that's today's card. And if you let's see, if you have any questions or any comments, please be sure to let me know in the comments. And don't forget the sweet sale goes on until Monday the 30th. So you have until then to place your orders and save, and potentially save big depending upon what you're ordering. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.